Your favorite senator, Lindsey Graham, has announced he's tested positive for COVID. Now, you can probably imagine the things that were probably gonna be said to him and at him on Twitter, of course. But it is one of the breakthrough cases. He did point out that he has been vaccinated. So it's a breakthrough case and his symptoms are mild. Let's go straight to his tweets to see exactly the way he put this. So he said, I was just informed by the House physician. This is just as of yesterday on Monday. I was just informed by the House physician I have tested positive for COVID-19 even after being vaccinated. I started having flu-like symptoms Saturday night and went to the doctor this morning. Now there's more layers to this about who he's been around and how he's been around them and those other folks and the potential freak out that's going on. But he continued on this announcement on Twitter. I feel like I have a sinus infection and at present time I have mild symptoms. I'll be quarantining for 10 days. I'm very glad I was vaccinated because without vaccination, I'm certain I would not feel as well as I do now. My symptoms would be far worse. So those are some of the tweets he had, and we're gonna get to some of the contacts and stuff, but that's the juicier part about this. But the way he was talking about how he's been vaccinated and his symptoms would be worse and all that. First of all, what's your first thought on this? Was he one of the ones you figured would be these senators that's pointing out that they've been that they've contracted COVID?
I think it's kind of simple whenever you're trying to read between the lines of rhetoric coming from the GOP and the Democrats too, by the way. I'm sure we'll get to them later. But to me, this just means that the money has gotten the message through to the GOP, like stop screwing around with your vaccine talk. We want to get people vaccinated. That's how we're gonna get back to business as usual, i.e., our profits getting back to where they need to be. People not being vaccinated is a destabilizing force when it comes to the economy of this country. And so the money class has gotten the message through to McConnell, to the rest of the GOP establishment. Stop it. Encourage these people to get vaccinated. We don't need this tomfoolery anymore. And that's all you're seeing here. Obviously they were playing footsie with the whole vaccine conspiracy or vaccine skepticism earlier, right? Whether it be Fox News or other prominent people within the GOP. But again, the message has gotten through from the top because we know where these dudes take their marching orders from. It's not from their constituents, it's from the big donors, it's from the corporate class. And that's all that means to me when I see a weasel like Lindsey freaking Graham now, sort of singing the praises of the vaccine.
Honestly, I felt he could have sung a little bit louder because I feel like there's one more aspect of that tweet thread he could have gone through. I've got COVID, I've been vaccinated, thankfully. I still got it, but I've got mild symptoms. These things could have been far worse. All those are perfectly acceptable, in my opinion, things to say. The only thing left is so therefore, please go out and get vaccinated because if you don't, you may end up in a worse situation than I was in. Very thankful. Like that's be one more layer because they don't have a lack of declaration when it comes to telling constituents or when they're on Fox News to tell the audience, hey, you might want to question that vaccine. I have questions about the vaccine. Are you sure? I'm not sure. Yeah, I've gotten it. Now, at least they're admitting that's the one layer. They're admitting that they've gotten it because there's many pundits and there's many politicians who say a lot about how you shouldn't get vaccinated. And of course they've been vaccinated because they have the information right in front of them and they don't want to die because a lot of them are old guys and they don't want to have to deal with all this. They've seen it. You think they don't have information on how this stuff really works and information about what is it that could happen to them if they don't take these kinds of precautions? It's just a matter of now letting that, or at least giving that perspective to your constituents and the people that for some reason follow every word that you say.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.